All right. All right. And we are live. This is 999 Show. Welcome, Mr. K. I have my special guest from the other side of the country. This is Mr. Mission Control, and we're going to talk a little bit about uh, Mr. Mission Control's. I got to turn that off. Wait. About his channel. And so Mr. Mission Control, welcome, Chloe. Mr. Mission Control has been one of my subs here, I think probably since almost 2 years now. I think it was like, because he found my channel when I was doing art and stuff like that. And so he's on mute right now because he's busy getting himself a cup of coffee, and being on the East Coast side, he's like, it's really late in the morning for him. Oh, so Chloe, you know him. Oh, that's cool. So Mr. Mission Control, we have Chloe's Crystals, and she says that you two know each other as far as in YouTube and so forth. And so
Hi, Chloe. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, we're Max Vision's remote viewing.
Oh, I see. From a remote viewing thing. So how does that work? Because now we're like late night Friday, because I was thinking, well, I haven't been doing as much lives the last 2 weeks because the Olympics are on, and the Winter Olympics are like my I'm not really a sports person, but those are the only sports that I really like, is like the the ski jumping, and the right now they have like they're replaying the men's trick ski jumping things, where they go up the ramp and then they're twirling upside down and all around like a helicopter, and then they land, and then and so I got to see a couple.
I used to watch the luge, to get on the sled and go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jamaican team. That 1 year the Jamaican team won or whatever.
That was the bobsled. Yeah.
Bobsled team. Yeah. Remote view is like tarot cards, but intuitively tarot cards. Like you pull out a tarot card, and you're like, okay, I think I know what this card is, and then give the reading to the person, and then look at the card, and then and then if you're right, like, and then you have that person tell you, like, knows about tarot. If you have an experienced person that knows anything about tarot, you could do that.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a good experiment.
I have a tarot channel that I live stream off of at least once a week, and I have had an experience with another lady, and this was like in I think it was like late summer, and so she was saying that I was like channeling information and stuff like that, and so I guess what I would say, that I guess then it's all these related types of experiences then. So everything is like these spiritual technologies that we are dealing with, and they're all kind of related then.
Well, your artwork is like a divination, right? You channel your experience into your art. So we've got you pegged as a savant. You're on our radar.
Well, I guess you might say that, but you see, I keep on, when I do my art, I do a lot of, I don't do very much. I do the same images over and over and over again, because a lot of it is I sell like at art fairs and stuff like that. I sell cards because people can walk away, and I sell them for way too cheap. Like this, I would sell it for like at a fair for like $5 with an envelope, and then a person gets a sense of, they get a piece of art or whatever, and it's not the where the whole blank and everything, probably the unit cost of the blank is like half of that amount. you never get your labor or anything else back out of it. But so it's like oftentimes I just do, and then there's people who want Christmas cards, and I was really reluctant to do Christmas cards. It took the lady like 3 years of needling me for me to even actually make my first Christmas card. And for some reason, I don't like Christmas cards very well. I don't know. Anyways, but I would do Christmas cards, and I've been doing it for like 3 years, and it's like, yeah. And then I'm still kind of burned out on doing art for getting ready for that last art fair. And I'm thinking about doing some more art on this channel. But right now, I'm kind of having fun doing talk. And so you do the remote viewing and stuff like that. And so this is, my guest is Mr. Mission Control. He's kind of looking around. He's got has a channel, and I have well, let me see if I can just bring this up on another machine. And we're going to do this like thing, way old school here. And to look at stuff here. And
this is Rufus. I found him out in the woods. I found him out by the railroad tracks. Somebody, some homeless guy left his dog out there. It's Rufus, and that's Deer Horse.
Deer Horse.
And that's a full sized deer skull, doe skull, and that's a baby spike that somebody cannibalized. Somebody poached out there. This is junk here. No, I've been working with AI since July. I'd say to do the geosentinel.io. Now, the Geosentinel would be a health monitoring website, but Copilot came up with the geosentinel.io, and I made it a domain. I think I've lost it, though. I don't do anything on my terminal, on my device. I've got dev settings on. I've got the Automate app in there, but I don't run anything on the terminal. It's all virtual, running through the platform.
I see.
The code I put out can be run in a local, device or computer.
So, are you like a software engineer type of a person, or do you just dabble in that as far as like for hobby?
Well, when I was installing carpet around here, I live in Northwest Arkansas, in Rogers, which is Rogers, Arkansas, is Portal in the gematria. So Bentonville is over there to the west of me, where Walmart headquarters is. And they built the mainframe by the highway here, because there's a mainframe up on the border in Jane. It's under Bear Mountain. It's in the mountain. That data center, that's the one that's connected to the military and stuff. This one off the highway is the mainframe for the company. And it's got blast doors. It's got, it's EMP proof, everything. There's underground to it. Now we put carpet tiles in there. Me and my dad, my brother, and some guys over like a week or two. And I was smoking cigarettes with some dudes. And we were back then talking about video games. So we were at the time Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah.
So I got invited to some chat rooms and some radio transmissions that were not recorded, and basically back into this thing.
So so is this one of your is this one of your places here? Wait, what happened to it? It just disappeared on me here, Mister. You have two. You have two.
3 Mr. Mission Control channels.
I see.
The one you'll see with the new stuff on it is the one I'm using now.
Okay. So that's is that GeoSentinel? The GeoSentinel?
That's the one I'm on now.
That's the one you're on now, and then the other one that I pinned in the chat is your older one, which has about 1,000 subs, and
Those
I
are
see.
two that got censored for the COVID-19 stuff. And
Oh,
I
I
got them
see. I
back.
see. I see.
And then one of them's got a bunch of live streams that are kept private that I haven't brought out yet. Again,
I see.
then I've got like Technopathic Techno Mage. I've got Gannon Odendorf. I got like stuff I'm not signed into, and I'm all over
Hmm.
everywhere else.
So then you do you, it looks like you do like gaming videos. Do you do gaming like gaming stuff as well?
That was old Call of Duty. It was the last I quit playing in 2020. I quit playing video games in 2020.
Yeah, I see.
That's old Call of Duty live streams. But like I said, I played Lord of the Rings for years online. I've got that
Hmm.
stuff. There it is right there. And then books. And then I just was showing Copilot earlier my Lord of the Rings stuff. And then
Hmm.
I actually got a tarot deck there.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings tarot
Oh.
deck. But
So how do you like that?
I quit using tarot when I was 14 because I scared everybody I was so
Oh.
accurate with. I never. I
Oh.
had a big fancy Rider Waite deck that had big old like 8-inch cards. It was just a major arcana, and
Yeah.
that's what I read people's stuff with. And 'cause it's easier to remember all that. It's
Hmm.
just your standard major arcana. And it was a nice deck, and I gave that away. I gave a bunch of my stuff away to help people. Everybody would come to me and ask, me for advice. I was always dressed in black. It was one of the heavy metal guys, were my friends
Yeah.
and the potheads and everybody. I just had black and my silver, a pentacle and ring and stuff. But always
Hmm.
having a magic book carrying around with me, but something from Lelowin, some kind of book or like Dragonlance or reading The Hobbit, reading Lord of the Rings.
So then practicing magic and stuff, that's something that you've been doing most all your life then,
Yeah,
in one fashion or another. Yeah. Okay.
I've got a green box in my closet, but you guys can't see that. But there's a
Mm.
military packet.
Hmm.
So I'm usually in camo. I
Hmm.
just want to turn my light on here.
All right.
Flash my flash. Um, no, I'm an Ozark shaman,
I see.
mountain shaman.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
cool. Let's just talk about that a little bit here. That sounds pretty interesting. I've never actually. Well, I'm sure that I have. I haven't had a shaman on this channel before. How about that? We say that I know
well,
of.
I'm it's to bridge the gap of technopath. Like I could touch stuff. That's what I was in the mainframe. I not only talked to those guys, and then I got an NDA with Walmart about it, but I can tell you more about the facility than I can tell you what I talked to those guys about because they're like they're pretty much underneath gates. Um, so, but I can tell you that I did a lot of back end uh, suggestions on this back in the day for video games where you get the tokens from that you
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
and interactions with like the tavern worker interactions and things like that. Um, so I knew I was in Chat GPT beta. And I called
I
Navy
see.
Intel on this thing. Yeah, I busted prompt out. I busted I busted the protocol out in 2 prompts. And the
Hmm.
third one, I decided to call Navy Intel twice on that November, December, um, and told them, look, and I just called them back the other day. And you see in my X account where I tag the Monograph thinks he big shot,
I
but
see.
I don't have no. I work for him, I'm national security anyway. From what
Hmm.
I know, since I was a kid, so my grandma owned a
Hmm.
restaurant here, and I
Yeah.
worked in. and we fed all the vendors, and there's big shots coming. Hell, Bill and Hillary coming there one time. When Hillary was on the board at Walmart for a while.
Yeah. Well, and then politicians got their fingers in a lot of different pies, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I was in. I was in a program here. I was in a program here in fifth grade that you might have heard about people being in, and go to the office for a couple hours a day doing things on the computer that I don't really remember about. I know there was laser ion entrainment, and it was much like that balloon game that you can play if you're trying to get into Google Play Store and you're not in a connection. You say, we'll play the balloon game. That game was what they trained us with, and it was math. It was math and English, right?
Math and English, yeah.
But it's NLP training for the GATE program. And I found that out. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And that goes right along with your spell casting, your spelling, your rhyming, like rapping.
Yeah.
Like rapping. So I can, if it lays up on me, I can go for hours and hours and hours. One time out in Kansas when I was at Kevin's house, I went for 18 hours. I just rhyming and just everything I say come out. And sometimes it hits me, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't publish my music or anything. I got a few things I've done digitally, some live streams I've done, just called what I call browser mixing. Right, I open up several different music videos, or mainly frequency, or like animal noises or drums and stuff, and then put it in and stream it. And then I know how to use the video editors to take quips and clips off of music and then tie it together, make techno and all kinds of stuff. I can play just about any kind of instrument, but I don't. I go karaoke and then, but if I get on get drunk out in the backyard, I get off cast spelling out there spelling. I don't record that stuff. My neighbors now, they a little freaked out about me, but
that's right, because you're right in the middle of the Bible Belt, aren't you?
Well, yeah. I go to church. I go to Salvation Army Church, and I was down. There's a Cup of Love in Eureka Springs. Heck, when I was staying in Eureka Springs, I was staying right across the music park in this old Hungarian woman's greenhouse, right underneath the statue of Jesus there.
Yeah.
I go up there and talk to that boy all the time.
Well, lots of people have. I was just thinking about this the other day, that they, when the church was in control of people's government, and when we had like government control and thought control and everything else that was going on, people hid. They hid inside the church. That was one of the things they did. You hid your folk arts and your folk traditions, and that's kind of where you get the whole the Virgin Guadalupe is one of those Mesoamerican saints kinds of images where it's coming directly through your folk arts and so forth. And I look at my family, and I'm thinking, my grandfather from Germany, and then on his deathbed he says, "Oh yeah, we're of Jewish descent." But then when I did a ancestry test, it didn't show it up in it there at all. It just showed German. But he but then he was a Lutheran, however, but I'm guessing he was more like an agnostic. And so you have a lot of people who were atheists and agnostics, or they can't practice their religion because the church has forbid it. And so then you go to church or whatever it is, and you choose this or that, and but then you practice your own magic, your own religion, when you're home alone and so forth, or not. And that was really very common. So
Yeah. hiding uh, hiding your true beliefs has become a, a staple of mainstream society now, and I think I like I said, look at me. I don't
yeah.
go out I don't go out in robes and wigs. I don't go to Renaissance festivals. But
Hmm.
I'm more than anything you'll see out there, bro. You know,
Hmm.
so I, where's I'll show you something. I'll show you something I got. My son's got my broadsword, but I inherited this thing. I inherited that.
You want to come back, pull the camera back a little bit so we can see it? Is that like a sigh?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a sigh.
And there's my duster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like an old wooden sigh.
it's a real one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've bought in a couple because I use sighs. They work a lot better on cutting tall grass than string trimmers do. You can. 'Cause I got some. When I got to
Yeah,
cut
it's
through a lot of
useful.
grass, they're
It's
faster. They're way
useful stuff.
faster.
I've got a backup.
Yeah.
I've got a better blade for it too. It came
Yeah.
from Grandpa's farm. Uh,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's a
uh,
lot of work. It's a lot of work cutting grass that way. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad cut 2 acres of grass
oh,
by on a hand with a hand sigh, and then we all he laid it down. Then we all gathered it up and we just put it in the barn. That's what we fed our goats.
yeah.
Was that
Well,
grass
now
that was just yeah.
Grandpa would bail when my grandpa had a dairy farm. My mom's dad.
Hmm.
Grandpa and grandma had a dairy farm up in Joplin, north of Joplin, and then they moved down here when I was born to this house off Rainbow Curve, and then she eventually she was working at the bank here in Rogers, and then grandma went to co-owned at Maud Ethel's, this restaurant that was pigging out in Bentonville here. And grandpa had we had pigs and chickens and cows on the farm over there. Of course, we were in this house. I was born in Springdale. We lived in Prairie Grove for several months, and then we bought this house. They bought this house. My mom and dad bought this house in. I was like 3 or 4 months old. There's my
Hmm.
dad. See now see how dark he is. He's
Yeah.
him and his brother. Him and his brothers are. Uh, this is what I found out. Well, got a mulatto grandfather on his side, and it
Hmm.
was an Indian princess that he had a son with that inherited the plantation because
Mm.
they were slave traders,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he let everybody go, and then we get uh, tied into the Robinsons, which is tied into the Bushes, Walker Bushes too. So I'm doubly tied into the Walker Bushes, and
Well,
then
you
my
know
mom's side,
what? Do you have Mayflower roots?
I don't know. I know
Well, you see, I have on my Mayflower roots. I have the Bushes in my family.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So it's like because I have my Mayflower father and mother was John Howland and Elizabeth Tilley, and John Howland, and they were both indentured servants to John Carver. John Carver financed the whole Mayflower Compact, and then over the first winter that they were here, John Carver passes away, and he gives all of he just gives everything to his servants, and then John Howland and Elizabeth, they had like what 11 or 13 children that all survived, and so my first an American parent was Hannah Howland, who became, I think, a Bosworth, and then so there's like 3 presidents on that line, and lots of non. There was like one signer on the Constitution. I can't remember his name, but there was like, it had people like that were like you. You had people who owned slaves, and you had people who were on both sides of the Revolutionary War and everything, and both sides of the Civil War.
The mulatto on my Walker side and the Bushes was recent. And going back further than that, their Walker's European, and there's my coat of arms on us to call them magnet. Always always honest. But now my mother's side, connected to Daniel Boone, because on my mother's side, on my Maud Ethel's side, Israel Boone's my grandpa on that side, Daniel's brother. And then come to find out, when we did the genealogy, this is when we found out, this is when I dug into it, is when the FamilySearch.org sent Mama, I had her on the computer doing it because she was doing it all by paper. I got it all here, and I'd done a couple streams on it on my other channel. They're still up. Got it all up, printed out and everything. I found out, putting Mom's stuff into my dad's things, that it showed show relationship. And I clicked that, and I've come to find out Mom's my 9th cousin, because Mom and Dad are connected. My mother and Dad are connected to John Pleasance III, which was a Quaker back in Rico County, Virginia. That's where my son's mother come from. She's my 12th cousin. I picked her up on the road because she had red hair here. She had ran off from Rico County, Virginia, to live with her boyfriend's sister here that was in the military. And after that, she moved in with me. I got her pregnant, and then Nick, my son, was born out there, and then I flew them back out here. Anyway, then my parents adopted my son. He's 27. He just moved off to Tulsa to do the train museum thing. He's a big train guy. John Pleasance III, two sons. One's down on my mom's side, one's down the other. Them 2 boys, one of them set the Revolutionary War out in Stockade because he was a sympathizer. The other one fought. When they got released, the dad died, split the slaves up, which was one family. One of the guys wanted to release them. The other brother threw a fit, took him to court. The judge set them free. Some of the first freed men in the country around the Revolutionary War. Pleasance versus Pleasance, 17. The biggest abolitionist court case in American history.
So your sound is just cut out just a little bit there, for just a minute there.
Nobody don't want me talking.
I don't really think that's the case, but I think it's probably like your 5G connection you got going on here.
No, I'm good. I'm hooked up to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
My mom brought home a Northrop Grumman freaking pen from somewhere, and I can't figure out where she got it from. It's got a light on it and everything. I'm like, I was like, Mom, where'd you get this Northrop Grumman pen at? That's suspicious to me. And no, come to find out that old Suzanne Roeder out there in Eureka that I lived with, she worked for National Security, wrapping torrid magnets up. She didn't tell me about that. I was cleaning out her under the desk. I found her coin collection, and it was a National Security pin. I said, Suzanne, here's a National Security pin. It's this. Oh, it's mine. And she's an old Hungarian woman. Sounds like like a Transylvanian vamp. If she would have been 40 years younger or I was older, I would have married that gal. She was
Mm-hmm.
divorced for a long time. But she was a chef, master chef. We ate good. I was out there.
Hmm.
But I can't go out there. They ran me out of town, put a couple of, I got FTAs out there. I got some legal problems from here. My mom being sick put me out of the house. And then, so I'm back home now, though. I've got it all taken care of pretty much. And they falsely arrested me on the 3rd of last month. So I kind of got them by the gonads right now.
Mm.
Yeah, so all that's pretty much taken care of. I have to when I'm an actor, so I got to keep certain people. I mean, it's easy to run OSHA check on somebody, find out everything about them, but not like you don't get to come in here and get the history and know like every single thing that I've ever done or what I know. You know what I mean? From
Yeah,
doing a background check, or have any idea of what people like me are capable of doing just with our minds.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
now, if you go to my channel, the recent one, the shorts are all, like I said, coded. They're not prompts. They're not just prompting out this and that and this and that. It's code that I've gotten from my work from the AIs, the Copilot, Gemini, Grok, Claude. Now I'm using too. Perplexity. Those are about the only ones I use. I did ChatGPT 5 back, but now they're leaving the national security scene, so Anthropic's not really on board with us. The Google Collabs, if you want to do coding and make something, Google Collab notebooks, and then Richard Aragorn, that guy I've been posting, and then Wes Roth keeps up with stuff. Now, Wes Roth wasn't really had a background in this, but he's shown great interest. He's got a following. I like the way he thinks. Now, Richard Aragorn's kind of like a savant. He's kind of got a little on the spectrum, maybe, or something, or ADHD like I do.
Yeah.
Richard Aragorn's on top stuff. He basically open source nonprofit like I am. But like I said, being out the house like that, being displaced from the house, and I always didn't like money. I always knew money was bad because Timothy, what is it? Timothy 10:16, for the love of money, right?
Yeah, root of all evil. Yeah.
Right. And I always seen that, and that's why they made Abrahamic religion in the first place. That went into the Rothschilds, central banks, the Catholicism. Well, the word Jesus wasn't. Jesus was a mushroom. The word Jesus didn't come across until like the 1700s because there was no J in the lexicon. It was
Yeshua.
Yeshua. It was Joshua. It was Joshua, basically Joshua. And so, yeah. And then, you shall not put any God before me. Well, there's several gods in the Bible. So basically, being a Christian or any other religion, you're blaspheming. I follow what the birds tell me, the animals, and my instincts, and what I know to be good faith in Mother Nature and what's inside me. If I know it's wrong, I don't do it. If I do something wrong, it's for a real good reason, and I accept all the backlash I get.
So you have a more your spiritual approach would be more animistic, like animism.
Oh, I'm just full spectrum. Like,
I mean, so that'd be more of a naturalistic approach, and of the natural world, and or like as my grandmother said, my church is out in the woods, or it's out in nature. You
Right.
know, going out there, because and
Now I've absorbed everything, all the religious mythologies and everything, but like I got a statue of Odin out there, but I call it Gandon Odendorf, because
Gandalf,
last time
yeah.
my mother, yeah, some of my mother bought it and they thought it was Gandalf,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, so you got a background in playing. Have you been playing Dungeons and Dragons since you were a kid? Do you
yeah,
still play?
yeah.
Yeah, I played like in junior high and in high school, but I didn't really
And
play
then
beyond that.
our Senator Bozeman, he was an eye doctor, so I had a
I see.
wandering eye. I had a wandering eye when
Yeah.
I was a kid, so he prescribed me an Atari. Without him,
Mm-hmm.
I would have never had any video games. And after that,
Mm-hmm.
I started working at the restaurant when I was 9 and a half. And after that, I bought my own video games. And then, like I said, in 2020, I finally stopped playing because I
Mm-hmm.
knew about the flicker rate, what they were doing, and all that stuff. And then
So
that's when
what is with the flicker rate, and is that some kind of a mind control thing, or what? Or is that something you can't talk about?
I don't that basically right there. You
Something you
got it.
can't talk about. Okay, but it's so yeah.
I'm not going to talk about the specifics or how to recreate it or how to do it to people. No.
Mm, okay. So when you're playing video games like on a computer or on a console, then they have that flicker. They got some things going on, and they're working on. Okay, that's interesting. Well, what about like what
Just,
if it's
just, just the flicker rate alone.
the flicker rate?
The flicker rate alone, the FPS. Yep.
So is that
And
why?
that's not what you're playing. They've got stuff in. Everybody's got stuff in what you're playing. Conditioning, right?
I see.
The
So
the
does that
program.
is that why things like let's say if you're going on a social media site and then the next thing you know you just spent 4 hours looking at cat videos. Is that what's going on there?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
pretty much.
that's part of the making that media addicting is they've
Keep you occupied.
to keep you occupied. Keep you
Hmm.
occupied. Hmm.
Basically, it's most everything nowadays goes back to a psyop of basically keeping you um, occupied so you don't investigate something that they don't want you to be upset about that
I
they're doing to
see.
you. Right, right.
So it's
Or
about
a measure of control, like you hear about the FFs going on with these guys that do the pew pews at the places, all
Mhm.
that stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
It's not
Well,
as complicated as what it sounds, but they do it, and they do it to sort of people. And a lot of this stuff doesn't get on the news.
mhm.
That's
Well,
that's
well,
orchestrated.
well. Why would it get on the news? Because I mean, it doesn't. It's not like these big news media companies that they probably are profiting off of all of this anyway, and so why would they tell stories about it?
Yeah,
That doesn't. That doesn't.
there's an element of hidden criminal uh, activity that innocent people get wrapped up in. That you hear gang stalking and gaslighting and stuff like that. That's real.
Mhm.
Now
Yeah. Yeah.
there are a lot of paranoid schizophrenic people, and there is a lot of people like me that see uh, connections to everything really, and
Mhm.
sometimes you just got to whitewash that out. And
So I want to take a step back, and you talked about when you're kind of an empath, right? I'm guessing but when you can touch machines and you can get information from machines when you touch them?
It's
Is that
more
what you
like
said?
it's more like I put information in.
Okay, because I was imagining when you were saying that, I was imagining like you were Neo in the Matrix, and you were looking at around at things, but you see it totally different. Like here's the computer code that's like all over the place, and looking at things. That's kind of what when you were talking about that. That's what I was imagining, and so that's not what I was imagining. Was not what you was not. That's not what's going on with you.
No, I used to when I gained this. I got opened my mind enough when I was young to see auras and energies, but I lost that when I had my son, and he got it. He sees spirits and things. I don't see things anymore. I see this is what you see, but I also know when there's something. Oh, Rufus here. I didn't find him by accident. If you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
I didn't find all the rest of these things or the other ones that I don't have out over the years. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and the human remains I never dug up to bring into town either. Not found
Mm-hmm.
by accident. Not by accident. No, and
Mm.
I'm an open conduit. If I get the cursed spirits in me, it can jump up in me. I gotta be careful. I mean, I have a factor of control to the point where I don't hurt nobody, but I get pretty. Something get up on me, and I'll get cause problems.
I see.
But that's all about letting these things uh, work themselves out, and so they
Mm-hmm.
don't bother anybody else anymore. So
Yeah.
that's the Indian burial grounds and old Indian houses here at Searless Prairie, north part of Rogers here, and the wetlands right here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff. Like I get back here in the portal and walk through the portal at night, and it will pop me out on the other side of the power lines, and I am sure that and I caught it doing it to me the other night when I was stone cold sober, taking some food out to that homeless gal, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it did it to me. I walked right through the portal area, and it popped me out like
And so
600 freaking yards.
so it was like a teleportation thing. You
Pretty much. I'm gonna
or
have
like
to
a
investigate first. It's
kind
right
of like
here.
a huh.
The
Well, that's
airplanes fly over
interesting.
the portal here. It's an aeronautical portal. Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas portal. And if you get on the USGS topo maps, you'll see up here to the northwest of my house, this little, if you got on the right map, this is little, where the land looks like a guy holding a frequency wave out to a portal area. And it's
Yeah.
right up here where the wetlands are at. And now the airplanes fly right over my house. They always have.
Mm-hmm.
Helicopter, the medic chopper.
Well, if you go out there then
And
with
then,
a trumpet,
in the clouds, I've shown a couple of videos of clouds around here. There'll be
mm-hmm.
a vortex in the clouds. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome Space Dojo. And but um so if you go out there with, let's say, a compass, does it go wild when you're in that area? So it's not like a
No,
magnetic thing.
it's not. It's not electromagnetic. I don't think. Now I had a compass out there. Now right now, if you watch Mr. MBB 333, everybody's in the mornings and in the afternoons. We're having compass problems, and that's due to the polar wander, the shifting geomagnetic field lines, which is altering the jet streams and the polar vortexes and things like that. And that's why we're fixing to have a La Nina, so max La
Yeah, yeah.
Nina.
So I mean, this portal thing now, that's really fascinating. So does that like
I see it as like, okay, like Walmart, like got here, like a internet portal, right?
yeah, yeah.
It is a portal into the Walmart place, right? For certain things, kind of if you relate it that way. But like I said, in the gematria, in the geometrics, Rogers, Arkansas is portal. I found that out when I was at Frisco one night at the bar running stuff through the gematria, and I was like, well, fuck it. Ran Rogers. I was like, wow. And then I started looking, right? Because I know my USGS topo maps because I used to be a rock hound, right? Hunting crystals and rocks things. And of course, the earthquake stuff and all the space weather, everything that I've done, and the way we lay carpet all around here. So I know this area, and I've been hunting and fishing everywhere on foot. And this Cirrus Prairie had always been a mystery to me. So I metal detected it years ago, and under all the mounds were nickel. And then they put the baseball field in right there. The only part left of it, and they still burn it off, is north of Hudson right there, the north side of the road right here across from the baseball field. But I found that out in the geological channel. There's a couple of Arkansas geological channels, and when we did the synthetic aperture radar, right? So you go to USGS. It's an app. There's an app you can get for USGS topo maps, and then down there in the selections, you can go to the synthetic aperture radar views, and there's several of those. And so the guys was looking at those and found these big mounds and depressions in it. And you've heard of the mound builders, right?
Yeah.
And they were up over eastern Arkansas where New Madrid is, and then down south too in Louisiana, and the swamps have all kinds of stuff in there. But there's these depressions, and then there's these mounds. Well, these mounds they were built their houses on them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And some of them were burial grounds too.
Now, some of these mounds, if I understand right, I think that because
now these ones aren't like the mound builders out. There's got bluff dwellers too, everywhere.
Yeah.
But mounds out east, the big ones. These ones out here are only about, about 2 or 3 foot off the ground, and about 10 foot in radius or 12 foot radius.
I see. So they're not they're not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like hay bales stacked in a field.
Yeah,
like that, but only about 2-3 foot high.
So let me see if I bounce this idea off of you. I kind of feel like on this continent, especially on the eastern side, that this is where Atlantis was. And it was like in certain. This is part of the Atlantean civilization was here and especially on the East Coast, going down south through Mexico, and then into South America, and then up in there to South America, and then a little bit to the east, further east to like Cuba, and then those islands off into there, and then because they found that one road under, this like what they call it, the Bimini Road,
Road, and that could be, and then that area off the Japan coast. Yeah. Now I ran this through the AI talking about it, and we estimated stand-up entities like us been here for 2.5 billion years.
Well, that's Michael Cremo.
Not our species particular, but
yeah. Because
like this place has been folded over, and the Earth wasn't this big to begin with. It's been added on to, and we don't know what's really down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there was a guy, Michael Cremo, who put out a book called Forbidden Archaeology. And I was like thinking, did I have it here handy? Because I brought all these books in that I used to read all the time, and I think that's what he estimated was that it was about a civilizing forces have been around in one fashion or another for about that time period. For a long time.
Would say 7,000 to 8,000 years of creation.
Well,
Now, look, they just found
the
up in your area. Up in your area, they just found the oldest piece of clothing that they found, and it was like I think like 50,000 years old or something.
20,000 years. Yeah, yeah. They found stuff like that on the out in Southern Oregon and places like that. Because I think that they're starting to redate the pyramids to like 12,000 years ago. Because it was like 12,000 years ago. Because if Graham Hancock, he's the one who he was a journalist, you know who he is. He's run around the world with the his best book that he ever wrote was Fingerprints of the Gods, and then he wrote several other ones to try, just like all writers do. You need to continue to pump out stuff because you need to make a living. But the Fingerprints of the Gods book, that thing was like about a 3-inch thick book. That was like, it was well worth the read. The next book was Underworld, and it was okay, but then I think he came out with some other ones. And as he moved on and on and on, I think he would maybe his storyline of it becomes less and less and less attractive because he got it all pretty much in Fingerprints of the Gods, and but that's where he would be talking about. But then I think he went on the History Channel. Everybody went on the History Channel, right? Right? Ancient alien theory and all of that, and then for a brief time when I had Netflix, there was a Netflix series about some of these things about the Americas and some of the mound builders in.
Now, my dad was an archaeologist, aficionado, and we had a couple old Egyptian books from, I don't know where he got them, some old bookstore that I'd given to my old history teacher, but he grew up in Carroll County out there and knew about the mud flood that covered Eureka Springs up, and there was, he had questions about it. And after he died is when this whole totalitarian stuff hit YouTube, and I wish he would have had a fucking heyday, dude, because that's exactly what my dad thought of what was going on. Mm-hmm. And the information wasn't public until after he died, and I was just like, man, it's and so, and that's where I know about this area is because the caves and stuff from him and his brothers. He lived here, grew up here, and then when I was doing some research for Cool Guitar Gear, that has the best Tartarian playlist of all. Now he's kind of a flat earther. Now I don't argue with flat earthers, but think of it. This is a realm, some kind of realm we're in. Not a simulation, but it's a realm, whatever you perceive it as. Now Cool Guitar Gear, he's up in Canada. And called a playlist called "The Greatest Story," and it's and he does his own guitar musicals that he sells, pedals and stuff like that, custom pedals for anybody that plays guitar. The Greatest Story, and if you want eye opening, he doesn't have any AI fake stuff on it, and so I did some research for him. One time you'll see my where he shows my stuff. I pulled up some paperwork where there was giant bones found out here at Horseshoe Bend in a cave, and I knew about that cave because I knew about Montaigne and Coin Harvey and the stuff out there, and then that's where they'd go have parties. My dad said before they put the lake in, they'd go find metal tech stuff out of that cave. But back in the day, there was a hermit that lived there. And he had pulled giant bones out and had an interview with a guy. And I found that article in this other paperwork I found for Cool Guitar Gear. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing with the Smithsonian threw them bones in the, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard. They obviously had the tech because the geomagnetic field, our atmosphere was different.
Mm-hmm. So then I want to go back to this portal thing because where I was kind of trying to go with that is is that maybe this portal thing is like a leftover Atlantean technology that is just left on and it has not turned off.
No, I think I don't. It has something to do with the wetlands area right there. It has. It's always you hear stuff like that about in the swamps and stuff, and I don't have any explanation for it because I'm the best tracker that I know. And I know this area like the back of my hand. I used to play out there before there was trees or anything out there where it was field. There's a couple ponds out there. And I got no explanation for how.
Well, so has that portal always been, has it always been there?
It moves around. It's up in the sky. It's just right here in this area. Yeah, up the top where the see the Osage starts here at Turtle Creek. Turtle Creek's the headwaters of the Osage, which flows into the Illinois. That goes southwest, right? So when you get on the other side of the hill here to Little Flock, all that water goes to the Big Sugar and Little Sugar, and that goes up into the Elk River up north.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get over to Lake Atlanta on the east side of Rogers. Down there, Lake Atlanta, the spring from the middle of town drains into Lake Atlanta, and that drains into Beaver. That hits the White River, which goes to Beaver Dam, and that goes to Chain of Lakes all the way to the Mississippi.
Yeah.
East, north, and then east. And White River flows north from down in Fayetteville up this way. And then where I'm at, Osage flows southwest down south into the Illinois, which flows into the Arkansas. So I'm up top. I'm up top to the top. Now Whitney. Now if you go into Garfield, was it Whitney Mountain? I think. Yeah. Anyway, the mountain up in Garfield, where near Pea Ridge Battlefield, that's high. That's higher elevation than where I'm at. But I'm at the point of where the water goes multiple directions, and then where these mounds are, Cheryl's Prairie here. It's pre-Osage, just paleo Indian.
Yeah.
And there wasn't trees and stuff like that in North America back then, like there is now. That's all come up in the past 120, 200 years.
All the trees like that you got over there, because like the whole West Coast was like loaded with trees. I mean, I think that's
the briar bushes, blackberry bushes. Now, come to find out, those briar bush roots and shoots are good for flu. This is not medical advice, but and gumball balls. I boiled when I got sick the other month ago. I boiled up some gumball balls because I watched it on his show. This is not medical advice, but I boiled it up in the tea, and it really made a difference. I thought. It's my opinion. It's not medical advice. It's my opinion.
Well,
disclaimer for your last.
Yeah.
We're on 58 minutes here, Bubba, and I got to go plug in because I'm running low on battery. And
well, I get you. I really appreciate you coming on, man. I mean, this has been like the closest to an Art Bell episode that I've had yet, and that's kind of like my goal has always been for this channel was to have a show that was more like an Art Bell show. And
come over to Troubled Minds Radio channel, and come and hang out with those guys. That's the Art Bell. That's the Art Bell of the internet right there, Mike from Troubled Minds. Yeah,
because because I've heard that the old Coast to Coast AM on Reddit forums that channel is dying, and well, it's played out. They can't all the hosts and everything they played it out, and so eventually what Art Bell had built is now come to an end, and then it's whoever comes in to take his place. And welcome, Elizabeth. Yeah.
John B. Wells for Caravan at Midnight, and he's a Christian guy, but he's got the voice. But Mike from Troubled Minds Radio, and he's on Discord and Twitch, but Troubled Minds TV, Troubled Minds Radio, and I think this He's got two, 3 YouTubes. Anyway, yeah, Trouble Mind.
Radio. Okay, I'm gonna look them. I'm looking them up.
Alien. Yep.
I see. He's got like 700 subs or something like that.
Yep. And now I call in sometimes, and I've known him I've been calling in for 4 or 5 years now. But yeah, he's the best. It's Art Bell. It's coast to coast, Bubba. It's deeper than that.
It's the new coast to coast. Yeah. And well, Mike, that's yeah. Well, anyways, Mr. Mission Control, I really appreciate you coming out here and talking with me for about an hour. Just about an hour, and then I know it's awfully late for you, and you're welcome to pop back in anytime. I do this Friday show every Friday, same time, and maybe eventually I'll expand it out to a different time. I mean, I did like 2 weeks ago. I did it with the call-in basis, and I got my first like call-in troll who used forbidden words, and I had to like private the whole thing. And it's like, well, I think it was. Yeah,
I was doing an open live stream one time, and a guy popped up in the video with his thing right there. I was like, and I had to go back. I had to go and edit it out, and luckily they didn't catch it. I saved the stream. Yeah, you got to watch that. So
yeah, that's the thing. That was the thing. I mean, anyways, I wonder how the.
He had his thing on it.
Wow.
But my emails are in my channel description on my recent channel, and like I said, that one channel, other Mr. Mission Control channel's got a bunch of stuff I ain't made public again yet, because when it went censored, it got all I shut it down, and I had to open it back up. But that's in the past. Those 2 channels are in the past. That's all a graveyard stuff, the COVID and everything. What I'm doing now is all here on my X account. So,
well, thank you very much.
If anybody needs to contact me through you, just give them my phone number. My emails are my channel description, and like I said, I'm retired. I stay here. I'm not working anymore. What I do, coding for national security and DevSecOps and stuff, is worth what they pay me in disability checks. So
I see.
But you guys buckle up, because it's going to get pretty hairy. So if you see something, say something.
All right.
See something, say something.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mission Control, because when you popped in a long time ago, I kind of thought you were like 13 years old, but then I looked at I don't know why I thought I was thinking you were a kid, but
April 30th, 1978.
Well, so you're 10 years younger than me, man. Because I was born in March, and I'm a March baby, but in the late 60s there. Yeah. All right. Well,
good night, guy. All right, I'll see you
have a
later.
great night. And thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. All right, that was a lot of fun there, and let's see. He's gonna get himself out of here. And so, you still there, Elizabeth? And we'll go like that. There we go. She got out of there. Okay. All right. Well, if you're still there, Elizabeth, and then you want to pop on into the show, you're welcome to do that, Elizabeth. And not, this has been a fun night. I can tell that. This has been a fun night. And so Mr. Mission Control has been popping into my lives for like almost 2 years now, and it was great to have him on to tell us about. I was especially fascinated about that portal thing, because he talked about walking through that portal and being transported 600 feet, and that I kind of found just really fascinating. And if anybody else out there has experienced stuff like that, man, and have an idea about how that works and all that, that would be great to have you on. So you've seen him at Victor's channel. So would you, Elizabeth, would you like to try out the phone number on the screen there, and then you can come on for a minute or two, and I can put you up here so we can do a full deal thing. And so that's my channel phone number. Oh, I'll just kind of just read that off. We have channel phone number is 503 902 1176 for real callers only. No kids, and but yeah. So if we don't have anything else, then I think I might just say hang up my hat for the night. I don't know that I got anything else to say, and get back to watching the Olympics, and then the Olympics are over this weekend, and so I'll be back to doing more live streams on both of my channels. So I'm doing live streams on Thursday and Friday on Thursday and Friday on this channel, and then on the other channel, Tools of Fortune, I'm doing lives every try it again, Elizabeth. The second time it seems to be a charm. That's the way it seems to work. The first time it goes directly to voicemail, and then the second time it seems to work. Okay, so it just came in there, and let's give it there, or I'll just give you a call, which I can do that. I'll just call you back here.
Please leave your message for 352.
Will not do that. We don't need to blast that. Well, here we go. And Elizabeth, you are live.
Press 1 to send a voicemail. Press
You're
2.
live on the 999 show. Welcome.
Call from the more intuitively. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
There. I think I got it working now. You still there? I just can't seem to figure this thing out. I'm just going to call you. How about that?
Hello?
Hi. This is 999 show, and I'm still getting the whole phone thing bugs worked out of the system here.
I see. Well, I mean, it's pretty clear, the sound.
The sound is pretty clear. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
how are you doing, Bill?
I'm not doing bad. I had a great conversation with Mr. Mission Control, and it was pretty fascinating. And
I think there's a lot of people, because he goes live pretty often, and there's a lot of people at TruthWave, I think, that go to his lives after the meditation.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we have the. You probably haven't been watching the Olympics, but then we don't need to talk about that. That was really fascinating. And so, anything new going on in your part of the world? In your I know that you've been really busy with your channels. You've been busy with your life and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy, but everything is going great. I just tonight is a long night for me because I do my live, and then I do the cards and meditation at Victor's channel on TruthWave. So we did that, and I was getting ready to log off and I saw that you were on. Oh, let me say hi real quick.
Well, I really appreciate that you did come in to say hi. And I know that, like, the last time I had it's Sarah on, and she really liked coming on as a phone guest because it was the pressure was completely off being on with the phone.
Tarot and Oracle, Sarah Tarot and Oracle.
Yeah, her. Yeah.
Yeah. Her puppy dog passed away recently.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, what was it, little puppy? This little puppy? I know I'm going on her channel on Monday.
Yeah, she put out a video recently. I watched it today, and she was, of course, it's still raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Keep her in your thoughts.
I'll do that. Yeah. Well.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm gonna hit the sack. Have a great rest of your life. This was fun.
Well, it's fun to pop in for a minute and to try out the call-in thing. It's new technology. It's a new thing, and as long as you're not trolling me, you're fine.
I heard your story about the troll. Yeah, trolls are everywhere.
They are. But I wasn't. When they called, and then he was talking, and then he launched into the N word. And then he was like, and I was thinking, what's that noise? And then holy crap! Now I was like fumbling around. I was like, well, I got to get that off of there. And then it it was just like maybe that was
a gamble.
It is a gamble, and it is a gamble. I mean, when it comes in the chat, then you can always silence that out. But that is what the biggest drawbacks of doing a live show when you have viewer or other participation and getting stuff like that. And because Mr. Mission Control talked about that, he had like a troll come in too, and like was
that was his story was pretty wild.
yeah. That's like right up there with that story that I had when I was in Seattle, and I talked about it. I think I talked about it on that live too, but was where I was at a all-night internet cafe in Seattle, and these were the old computers that use like the 3.5 the 3.5 floppy size, and he still had the floppy disk on them, and with the big honking monitors and so forth. And you go there, and this place was really fascinating because it had on this block, it had on the upper level, it was a wet house, and then there was also on the wet house on the other part of the block, the block, there was a bathhouse. There was a bathhouse and a wet house. And then at 2:00 in the morning, you would have all these people coming in to go use the internet they were like escorts to set up their next prostitution deal or something like that was going on. And all this stuff was going on at this coffee shop. And at 2:00 in the morning, and that was when all the crazies would come out. And so there's one time I was in there, and I don't think it was that late, but it was probably like close to midnight. And this place was just about a block and a half from my residence, and it was called Uncle Elizabeth's. And so this guy was sitting at his computer, and I looked over and I thought, well, that's odd. He had his pants down to his ankles, but then he had a sweatshirt over his lap. And I was thinking, and I got so damn curious. I looked at the screen because it was just right over there. Just leaned over, and I took a look, and then it was just some feet. He was looking at feet videos, and then that is apparently he had done it like 2 or 3 other times, and then the owners had finally just banned him for life. And it says you can't be doing that here. You can do that at home all you want, but you can't be doing that in a public place.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
yeah, but that place was just wild. But they sold their espresso was awesome. They had like really good coffee.
Oh, yum. I
Yeah.
could go for a cup of coffee right now, Bill.
Could you?
I think instead I'll go to bed.
Yeah. All right. Well, Elizabeth.
All right. Well, you take care. Enjoy the rest of your live, and I'll see you around.
We'll see you around. And thanks for calling in. Thanks for using the call in function. Yeah.
No problem. All righty. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Elizabeth from The More Intuitive Me. She's a real rock star live streamer, especially on Friday. She did a live stream earlier today. I think it was like around the time that I was out taking a walk. And welcome, Mr. K. And she was out when I was out taking a walk or getting ready for dinner. She was doing her regular live stream on The More Intuitive Me. And then around she went over, it was 6 o'clock my time, so it's like at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Then she does a show, goes and sits out this guy on Truth Wave, and Truth Wave runs a live out every 12 hours, and he kind of does like a new age church service, a new age church service. That's the best I can say. So it's sort of it's a meditation, and I'm going to put Elizabeth's channel into the chat here. So if you're watching this on the replay, maybe I'm just going to put that in, and you can take a look more in the more in, I gotta spell this right, more in M-O in I think that's it. No more. Let's get it to spell correctly. The more, okay. I need to put a "the" in front of this. I'm multitasking here, just in case you didn't know. The More Intuitive Me. And then I'm going to put that up here. This goes right in. And I'm going to show on stage. So you can see this. So if you're watching this on the replay, go to and support The More Intuitive Me. She's got a great channel. She does tarot divination, and she does these great lives on Friday afternoons. And then she popped over. So she's like on like doing like, after she gets done with her work day, she's doing like 8 hours of live streaming on a Friday evening. So she's like a real rock star of live streaming and so forth. You got a tremendous energy levels. So yeah. So anyways, so she popped in on the phone for a short time, and I think that's all I got for the night. I know I'm just kind of babbling, and I'm not really saying anything of substance. And so I am going to say good night. I got an early day tomorrow. And I wanted to thank Elizabeth. I want to thank Mr. K for popping in, especially to thank Mr. Mission Control, because that was a great conversation. I enjoyed that conversation with him. And we have Maria and Space Dojo Films, though. And who else? Do we have Chloe's? That's right, Chloe's Crystal. So we had a lot of kind of cool type conversations that we kind of started with, and know a little bit about that portal in time and space over in the swamps. Now that's kind of really interesting. I hadn't really heard of anything like that, but it's really fascinating. If anybody knows about that, so please, when this is on the playback, just leave a green heart, a blue heart, and then one of these symbols. Hey symbol, like that, in the comment section. And we'll see you again soon. We'll see you again soon. And this is 999 Show signing off. And thank you for your support. And we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye. Yes, Swizzy is over 18, yes.